Alright, we are going to talk about what we learned in class this week. Let's see, the week of December 3rd, 2018. And let's start with the eighths. Okay, we've learned, let's do, 5 times 2 equals 10. And then scoot it over a little bit. Let's do 5 times 4 equals 20. And then 5 times 8 equals what? Okay, so first I want you to notice that when you do times 2, that is the number doubled. So 5 doubled is 10. If you look at 5 times 4, look at the answers and compare 5 times 2 and 5 times 4. This answer is 10. This answer is 20. The rule is for the 4s that the answer is always doubled of what the answer is from 2, no matter what. Okay, and the answer for 8s is always doubled again. So now let's look at 20, and we double that, which would be 40. Let's see if it keeps working. Let's do 7 times 2 equals 14. So that's 7 doubled is 14. Now let's double that answer, and that's going to be our answer to the next one. 7 times 4 equals, what's 14 doubled? There's 4 in the 1's place, that doubled is 8. 1 in the 10's place, and that doubled is 2. So I have 2 10s and 8 1s, which is 28. Okay, so doubled. 7 doubled is 14. 14 doubled is 28. And 7 times 8 is, let's see. We're going to use the standard algorithm, and we're still learning about that in class because our curriculum happens to not use the standard algorithm in any of our work. So we are slowly building our skills with that. Okay. Alright, so let's do the 1's place first in addition. And 28 doubled. I like to do this in my head, but I want to show you what I'm thinking. 8 plus 8 is 16, but I can only put 1's in this place. So that extra 1 from 16 I'm going to regroup up here, and I need 1 of the 10's up here. So a 10 up here plus a 6 there, that is a total of 16. So my 16 didn't go anywhere, I just had to move it over. So now how many 10's do I have? I have 2 10's plus 2 10's is 4, plus the 1 10 is 5. So my answer is 56. So 28 doubled is 56. Let me get back up here. 56. So if you look, 14 is 7 doubled. 14 doubled is 28. 28 doubled is 56. So we talked about it being that times 8 is the double, double, double rule. And this is why. No matter what we do, it is the answer doubled, or 7. In this case, 7 doubled is 14, that doubled is 28, and that doubled is 56. The one thing that I talked about in class is that if you notice, this does not work for times 3 and times 6. Like, that's not in the doubles rule. Because it went to 4 students, a lot of you and parents, it's good to hear this too, they were thinking that the times 6 would be in there somewhere, just because normally we count 2, 4, 6, 8 when we skip count, but that's not the case for multiplication. The double, double, double rule works only with times 2, times 4, and times 8. So I also want to look at, let me erase this. I also want to look at the repeated addition for this. So if I have 5 times 8, we said that that equals 40. But what that is, since we're practicing with the 8s, I'm going to do 8 repeated and 8 repeated. How many times? 5 times. So 8 plus 8. I have to do that 5 times. This is what, excuse me, one, two, three, 4. Goodness gracious. 5. So that is the same. If I do that 5 times, that equals 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 8 is 24, plus 8 is 32, plus 8 is 40. So 8 5 times equals 40. So you can also make an array for that. And so that would be 8, 3, these are going to be small, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I add that row, and I have to add that up 5 times, and it'll end up being an array. 1, 2, not a pretty array, but it'll be an array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I have to do this 5 times, so bear with me. 1, because we're doing repeated addition. That's what multiplication is. I keep saying it, but it's so important to get that in your head, that all multiplication is repeated addition. And why that's important? Because if you ever get stuck on a problem and you can't remember what it is, you can always add up the number given however many times it says. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many rows do I have? This is 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, and to get 5, I need to put one more row down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this is 8 here in this row, and then 8 doubled. Okay, so that's 16. Alright, and then another 16 here, because that's 8 2 different times, so that'd be 16 plus 16 plus another 8. Okay, so if you're good at doing the standard algorithm for math, if you ever get stuck, again, you can just count, but what I've noticed in class is when if you don't add a little bit at a time, sometimes you'll come up with the wrong answer because you miscount somewhere in there. So it's always good to double check your answers in different ways, because you can also count down the columns this way, because there's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and because you've been skip counting by 5s for so long, a lot of times that's easier. So you can do 5 and by the columns, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Either way, it works because of how many's in each row and each column. Alright, so 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. So I'm going to put a 0 there and a 2 up here. So that's 20, 2 10s and 0 1s, which is a total of, like we said, 40. Pardon my dog. Be quiet, please. Alright, so that's the 8s. Now, if I have 8 and let's say I up on the store counter, because I need to move on to ones and zeros, because it's the other thing we did. This part is much shorter because of the rule for zeros and the rule for ones. So if I go to the store and there are a whole bunch of boxes of, Legos, and there are 20 pieces in each box of Legos, but I have 0 of them. So there are boxes of Legos out there, but I have 0 of them. So let's say there's one box of Legos I really, really want, and it has 20 pieces in the Legos. So I have, seriously, my dog just jumped on me. 20, there we go again. I'm going to switch to the other tool so I can actually type 20 times. I have 0 of them. I do not have any of the Legos. I don't get them because I don't have enough money to buy them. So 20 times 0, how many do I actually have? I have none. I have 0. So even though 20 exists somewhere, I have 0 of that 20. So the answer is 0, and that applies to anything. And what we talked about in class is you could go to, like, let's say you have a gathering at over Christmas break, winter break, and you have 20, or you have 1,372,600, and you ask somebody, what is that times 0? The answer will always be 0. So no matter what crazy number you make up, times 0, the answer is always 0, no matter what. So if I do 1,000 times 0, I'm going to have 0, because I don't have any of them, so I have 0. The answer is 0 every single time. It's a fun rule to practice, and it just makes it fun, because then the answer doesn't change. So, but if I have ones, let's say let's go back to the 8s, because that's what we did this week, 8s. 8 times 1, okay? So I can think of it different ways. I can have 8 ones. Well, if I have 8 ones, like, let's just do 1, because it's repeated addition, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now I have 8 ones. That equals 8. 8 times 1, or 1 times 8. Either way, you either have 1 8, like there's just 1 8 right there. There it is, 1 8. Or a box that has 8 in it. Okay, I have a bag of 8 apples, and I only have 1 bag. That's 8. I still have 8 apples. Even though I have 1 bag of them, I still only have 8 apples. So the answer is always that number. So 8 times 1 is 8, because I have 8 ones. Or the other way around, 1 times 8. If I have 1 bag with 8 apples inside, yes, it's multiplication, but I only have 1 bag there, so it would be 8, just 8. So that's another fun thing. I challenge them to do that, especially if they have like a little brother or sister or cousin or friend or somebody. They could say, what is 672 times 1? And that would be 672. So any number, even though we haven't multiplied that high, as long as they remember which number it was that they said, then the answer is going to be that number. So anything times 1 is going to be itself because of how many ones you have, or you have that in one group. So that's 8s, 1s, and 0s. 8s are kind of tough, especially this double, double, double rule. But again, I challenge you, if you are the student or the parent, to learn to practice the double, double, double rule so that you can do it in your mind, or just work on memorizing it until it makes sense to you. Either way, you'll be on your way to prepare for 4th grade.